What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Zaya Show. Today, I am here with the legendary, stunning, iconic. If you're watching it, definitely look at the video on YouTube. Kevin Kazar. Hi, Kevin Kazar.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. You?
Good. Yeah.
That's good to hear. All right. So I love the earrings, number one. If you're watching on YouTube, which you totally should, it's lollipops. So can you give me a little background of how we found this and where I can buy some?
Well, I got these at Hot Topic. Honestly, I get a bunch of just cheap little earrings, either online or at a random store. So you
Okay.
could probably find them online. Just
Yeah.
search lollipop earring.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic because I kind of went back to because I used to have like flowers, sun, all that. And then I was like, let me go basic a little. I don't know why,
It
but
makes a boring outfit good, just wearing cool earrings.
exactly. Earrings for the motion. And then as well, we got the pride flag in the back, which I stand. Mine's a little bit plain, looking like I'm Kim Kardashian right now, but so first thing I want to ask is, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, my nose might sound a little congested, but I really feel good. I was sick like a week ago. How are
Okay.
you?
I'm doing good. So I know we just got away from 2023. It was a good year for me. A lot of things happened. But how was 2023 for you?
It was honestly really exciting.
Okay.
I felt like it was a big change in a lot of ways, like when it comes to business, when it comes
Mhm.
to friends, like out with the old, in with the new.
Right.
I feel like if I could sum it up, out with the old, in with the new is the way to put it.
Okay, period. Because I feel that too, especially graduating and now I'm in my own place. And then I got it right before the end of the year. I was like, oh, this is a good year.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But definitely thank you for coming on. I really wanted to have you on because when I saw your Instagram, but I also like to read about people in general on Instagram. I'm still that person. And I saw you did a lot of things and you lived a full life already. You live in a full life already. And there were certain things that I really connected with you. So I graduated with marketing. And so when I graduated from college, like in May, I thought like, oh yes, I want to be a social media girly, work with the iconics. Thought it was going to work. Didn't happen. I ended up going to sales. So when you was talking about your experience with sales, I'm like, I definitely understand him. Like I give it.
Yeah.
So how does it feel? How did it feel really going from a job where it was like, okay, so heavy on analytics and focus to now going into more connecting with people and really healing people type
Yeah.
app?
Well, first off, I love that you did the full homework. I don't even know where I posted all that, but you know it all.
Instagram about me per.
Yeah, yeah. And for me, I have the same birthday as Oprah, so I love her. So that's very Oprah. You know, she knows everything about who she's talking to.
Exactly. I love Oprah.
Um, but yeah, so when I graduated a while ago, I had a sales job and I hated it. It just felt like I was selling payroll, so I was selling something that I didn't care about. So now working with a community I care about and helping them be their best self, it
Mhm.
just feels more fulfilling. Like it feels not like work. It feels like things I do on a day to day with friends or with strangers or whatever. I love having these kinds of conversations.
Right.
So it just feels not draining.
That's a good way to say it, especially as people that probably like sales. Why sales? Y'all get money, girl. If you know what I had to do for the interview process, I didn't get a job in sales. I just did the interviews and I was drained already. And it
Yeah.
wanted me to do presentations, already start working. I'm like, so do I got the job? Do I not got the job? But thank God I didn't take those jobs. I talk about it later on in the podcast through this season because that's a whole different story. But I'm working with college students now, with high school
Oh,
students. I
that's
get them
good.
into college. So it's kind of more like connecting. So I definitely feel the energy of like, okay, connecting. Then as well with education, I saw you was an elementary teacher. So
Yeah.
was you an elementary teacher in the 2020, like what year?
Yeah. So it was in the recent years. I
Okay.
actually finished this past June.
Okay.
Um, yeah. And then I just did full-time life coaching after that. And honestly, I mean, my goal is to like not work, you know? So teaching, I'm gonna say this about every job I had, but I hated it.
Right.
And I don't hate life coaching though. Um, but it was just really tough because I felt more like a jail warden than a teacher.
Mm,
It was after 2020, so
yes.
maybe it's because these kids were missing some years of school and the socialization, but I
Right.
was in a third grade classroom with 8-year-olds breaking up fights in the
Oh,
middle of class. I'm not talking about recess, I'm talking about
in
the middle of
class.
class, breaking up fist fights. It was a school in Hollywood, like very low income area,
Right.
but a part of me wonders, like, even if it wasn't this area, just how are kids nowadays with like, I don't know, all this
It's
stuff.
crazy.
I don't want kids myself, so I might sound a little harsh on kids,
It's
but
not harsh. It's not harsh, honey.
yeah.
It's not. Because okay, because I was like, oh my gosh, I really like kids because I was an assistant director for like a theater camp. And so I was like, oh, I love the little kids, because when they do something that they like, they're real sweet with you. When
Yeah.
I became, start working and talking to high school students, I'm like, okay, we're back in this again. I thought I'll be, since I'm young, I'm gonna catch on. I was like, what are these words and slangs now? I don't know what you're talking about now. And I'm 23.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different Gen Z situation. But honestly, overall, I think what the main thing that I really took away from your story is even though you had jobs, and I know personally, like when you're working and you're not doing something that you're passionate about, you get drained, you feel depressed, you feel upset about life, you think, and then it starts affecting your different other aspects of life. Like, okay, if I can't get this job, then why do I deserve this relationship? Or if I can't
Mhm.
get this job, why do I deserve this apartment? So I really want to know what was the turning point for you to really say, you know what, fuck everything. I'm going to life coach, doing it my way. Deuces, y'all.
Yeah. It's always good to look at the bright side of things.
Mhm.
And truthfully, 100%, if I wasn't a teacher and if I didn't hate that job so much, I wouldn't have really made the push to get my life coaching started. Because
Mm,
I had this idea for a while and I was doing some things here and there, but it really wasn't until I just was really starting to hate teaching. Like I was breaking up a lot of fights. It was like a
right.
weekly thing. That's when I started to be like, okay, now I want to get it started. So social media was really the big push. I never
Mhm.
really used it before, but posting on there every single day at
Right.
the start of last year, and then it really set off, set
Mhm.
off so much that I could, do it just full time. And yeah, but yeah, really that was it. I mean, I had the idea, like I said, but of course, having an idea,
Right.
there's so much from point A to point Z.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think if someone is unhappy in something in their life, it's not going to change unless they do the hard work. And
Exactly.
the hard work will be hard at the start, but it'll be worth it later.
Exactly.
For like almost everything you could think of that applies.
Exactly. And I really learned that lesson a lot last year and taking it into 2024. I'm so happy that I didn't have to learn it 5 years after post grad, 10 years even. But when I was going for the sales job interviews and I'm slowly changing my hair and I'm slowly dressing more straight and I'm giving up different personalities that I used to do and that I'm comfortable with and saying, yeah, I'm totally fine with your views just for a paycheck.
Mhm.
That's when I knew, like, okay, I need to get back to finding myself. And so I really think people, especially people that are already insecure about themselves, are so quick to make changes to get some type of dopamine from whatever they want. And so really what was a turning point for me was honestly, I was laying in the bed and I had the bed on the floor. See, I laid on the floor, girl. And I was like in my mom's house, I'm like, okay, I'm miserable. I'm not doing what I want. Yes, I got a relationship. Yes, I got good friends, but that's just not enough for me. I want to be career driven. My podcast, I was like, I'm not creative right now. I got blockage. I'm feeling sad, even though I'm happy. I don't understand. And really, the turning point for me was when I literally had to sit down, and I kid you not, because you just said it, but I had to watch Oprah. I literally had to watch Oprah. I had to watch RuPaul Drag Race. I had to watch stuff not only to get back into what really made me me, but also it really helped me remember who I am and why I love working with LGBTQ so much and why I want to work with people just in general. So
Yeah.
it slowly changed from okay, about a paycheck to now it's okay, it's about what my life purpose is for me. So
Yeah.
knowing that I want to work with people. And I really was like, okay, if I'm coming back with the podcast, I want to sit down find new people. I don't want to interview the same people. I want to find different people, different backgrounds, start getting the conversation going, especially with LGBTQ. And I live in New Orleans, so it's a perfect place to talk about LGBTQ. But overall, that's when everything started turning around and then get into apartment. I was like, okay, I'm powerful, bitch. So ready for
Yeah.
2024. I made promises, like I'm gonna release an episode each week, in hopes to become a podcast host and a podcast producer and manager just for
Yeah, well, you are a
yeah,
podcast host, you know? So
exactly.
I feel like everyone I talk to says they want to start a podcast, you
Mhm.
know? But you did that. You actually
Yeah,
did that.
exactly. And the funny part is I started during COVID, 2020. So four
Yeah.
years officially. Woohoo. Now, talking about starting things and our personal experiences, what advice would you give to just like a gay young boy in high school, going through high school? Terrible.
Yeah.
And just like I don't feel proud of myself and they don't think they could achieve anything or they not dreaming. So what advice would you give them?
Well, I think I'm so glad that Gen Z now, it seems like they come out a lot sooner.
True.
And I'm guessing if someone's in high school, maybe they're out.
Mm,
Regardless, okay, this is my advice to the people that are out. If you're out of the closet in high school, make community, make friends that are queer. And I
mhm.
think that is a really good way to feel good. Even if you don't have a job or whatever, 16-year-olds probably aren't getting that. But if you make close friends, then you
Right.
could reduce the shame. You could also just have fun in your life, and you could feel like less of an outsider. If
Exactly.
someone is not out of the closet, then I think they should just, I guess, lean into the parts of them that they do like.
Hmm.
I mean, I do think being in the closet, it's always going to weigh down on them. So if they could find some way to feel comfortable with that, it would probably help them. But if that is too scary, just lean into the things that they like, even if it's things that people might not approve of, like playing Princess Peach or
Right.
whatever. I mean,
Exactly.
maybe they like football, maybe they're into these super masculine things, whatever it is. If someone's not out in high school, I guess just lean into the things that you are into, and eventually maybe you'll just have a epiphany that you'll come out. Maybe I don't know what'll make you come out, but
Yeah, because I know in high school for me, especially going back to high schools and talking with students, and when they would ask me like, "Oh, do your school have LGBTQ resources?" and I'm like, "Yes, I finally get to talk about this with high school students because back when I was in high school, it was so taboo. You wouldn't talk
yeah.
about that." But definitely for me in high school, I was in a closet. But the main thing that made me come out because I always thought that I wouldn't come out officially, but it really was my boyfriend that made me come. Well, he didn't make me come out, but it was a situation like, okay, we're dating. He's a good guy. He's not messing me over. Okay, I'm graduating. I see a future with him. Why I'm holding back? And so I talked to my mom. She was like, "Oh, I been knew you was gay. I was just waiting for you to tell me." And I was like, so I had all this stress in my head, and I was like, but you were homophobic. You say you didn't like gay." And she's like, "Honey, I changed my ways as soon as I realized you were." And you wasn't going to change with your bleach blonde hair. I had to learn and look into myself. I was like, Mother, well, I'm so appreciative that you did that work. But she still has certain views. And I was like, okay, Mom, well, at least you, okay. And she met my boyfriend, they talked, they kiki, all that good stuff. So really the epiphany sometimes might be a surprise to you, but I didn't imagine it. So definitely for people that not out, it always get better. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in a good space. No, I said that to my counselor before. Like it
Yeah.
does get better.
I came out also because there was a guy I had a crush on, and he
Oh,
was flirting with me. Nothing ever happened between he and I, but that was the push I wanted.
yeah,
So for people who aren't out too, maybe if you come out, people will approach you. People that you've been
exactly.
looking at have been wanting to. They just think maybe you're
Mhm.
not open. So
Exactly. And another thing is my birthday was just this past week. Shut up, woohoo.
yeah,
And
happy
I went
birthday.
to, yeah, and thank you. And I went to Target, Super Target to be exact, with my boyfriend. And I was getting my free Starbucks drink as always. And a guy was just looking at me. And I was like, okay, maybe, but I got a boyfriend. So I was holding on to my boyfriend a bit more. And the thing is, when we got our drinks, and I said thank you, and he heard my voice, and he's like, wait, you're the guy with the podcast. Oh my.
Oh
And I was
wow.
like, oh my birth, wait. I was like, wait. And my boyfriend's like, my man's famous, period. And I was like, wait. And all the mothers with their Stanley Cups just looking at me. I'm like, "Ah." This is
Yeah.
the year. So really getting to hear those things, especially people, and I obviously could tell he was part of the LGBTQ community because he it looked like he wanted to ask something, but it was like it wasn't the time. So seeing those things and getting comments from young Gen Z, I was like, wow, I talked to young Gen Z still. Okay, cool, I got
Mhm.
it. So switching segments over to what we're just interested in, because all of us, especially in the LGBTQ community, has different interests. So I just want to know what Kevin likes to do on his time off where he's not helping people. What is he doing?
Honestly, I spend a lot of time on my own, just like at home, kind of doing basic things like exercise, meal prep, or whatnot. And if I'm not on my own, which, like I said, I really do that a lot, I'll just hang out with friends. And usually, when I hang out with friends, we're like sitting at their place, we'll put a movie on in the background and just like talk the whole time.
Right.
I do go to bars and I go out here and there, but most of the time, it's really just hanging out with a friend, especially really close friends, and we'll just
Yes.
sit around and hang out because we don't need to buy food to hang out. We don't need to buy a drink to hang out. We could just literally say, "Hey, can I come over? I'm 5 minutes away," and then we'll just talk.
Literally me. That is
Yeah.
literally because I'm like, even though I'm 23, I'm like, okay, the club's not clubbing. Even like, because we don't have like a gay club like in where I live, like a specific like area where all the LGBTQ T people could go to. They got rid of it. Yay, straights. So after that, I was like, girl, let's just hang out at my place. I got my wax candle on. We got the wine glasses. You bring the wine, and I got the couch and the rug where you can lay on for some people. I like
Yeah.
to lay on the rug more than sit on my own couch. I'm one of those, but definitely checking it out, relaxing, all that good stuff too. But as well, another thing that I found interesting about your story as well, because I do my homework like Oprah, iconic. You did. I feel like also I'm talking to myself a little, Kevin, which is really cool as well. You
I
also
love
had
that. I do
uh,
it when I'm home alone. I do that a lot.
hmm and I feel like you have like you definitely had an experience in porn that I definitely want to touch on. So do you want to tell us just like about like how your relationship with porn was and how it is currently?
Yeah, so I would definitely say I'm addicted to porn, and I actually go to Sex and Porn Addicts Anonymous, mostly
Okay.
for the porn aspect.
Okay.
Um, but for me, I don't know how many guys would consider themselves addicted. I'm not going to
Mhm.
impose it on anyone, but I think a lot more people are addicted to it than
Yeah.
maybe they're aware of or maybe they'd like to admit.
Yeah.
So for me, my main problem is just how much time I spend on it. Some days, especially if I have no plans, I might spend like 8 or 10 hours just searching for the perfect video, not
Mm-hmm.
finding it, all this. I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
pleasuring myself the whole time. A lot of it is really just sucking the time away
Right.
because that could be 8 hours of, oh, I should be doing this, I should be working out, I should be doing this, or I could just, with a blink of an eye, 8 hours flies by, you know?
Exactly.
So honestly, when I started to make an intention to watch less of it, that's when my life really started to change. That's when I started to feel more confident. I started to actually stick to exercise habits. I started to feel like, I guess, more in control of my life. I started my life coaching business, and yeah, it was a little drop that did a lot of change. And I'll admit, after more than 3 years of trying, I still haven't like conquered it. You
Right.
know, I still watch it here and there, but there's definitely huge amounts of progress compared to before.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely, I think it's more of a problem in people's lives than they think. And I have seen how much has changed in me internally and externally. So yeah,
Right.
but I'm glad you brought that up. I think a lot of people struggle with it, and I think people should be more open to talking about it.
Exactly, because definitely for me, and I feel like I really don't talk. Well, I feel like I don't talk about it because it's like it's so much more like, yes, girl, you gotta watch porn. Like that's how you're gonna know the moves to do with your man, and that's how you know what you like and explore and sexual liberation and all that. And I'm like, okay, cool, but I mean, okay, like I normally watch porn, like, okay, I'm 23, so I watch porn, of course. But the thing was, it got to the point, and I will never forget, where I literally saw a shirtless picture of a guy on, no, who was it? It was literally, I don't know who it was. No, Michael B. Jordan. And when I tell you, I don't know what that does to me, but it just turned me on. And then every single time, whenever I see a thirst trap, it's like the brain goes into like, oh, Twitter, X.
Yeah.
Now it's called X, so it's really just giving me the vibes. Then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I see every single piece of pie, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for this, but I watch the teasers, and then all of
Yep.
a sudden it goes to X videos, and then Pornhub. Well, you got to be verified for that now, even though I'm of age. I'm like, I'm not gonna give my information. I'm not that crazy.
Mhm.
But it got to that point where I was literally wasting time, not only wasting time, but also I was looking at unrealistic bodies and I would get insecure. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have had that. And so really some things I would watch is like, oh my gosh, I wish I was that. I wish I had bigger arms. Even though I got a big butt, I'm like, okay, I don't want to just be the bottom. I want to be a verse. So it's like I was just all over the place. And so I'm working on it now because it's very me and my boyfriend, we talk about it, about like how we can help each other. So we doing a no masturbation challenge. We are trying. So definitely I think it's something that you should talk about with your partner. I mean, it's not breaking the sexual attraction from us. It's just that I'm just wasting more time when I could just be like, okay, let me save up all my energy and then just give
Mhm.
it all to one person. Or I could just be like, hey, I don't have to watch it 24/7. I could just be sleeping, which I need to be doing, sleeping. But
Yeah.
another thing is with sex as well, with porn as well, is that time I watch a porn, I could be working out to get the body. So it's like I'm thirsting over this man and I want to be this man. Why don't I just go do what this man is doing? That's how I
Mhm.
got to see it. So I'm working on it. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. Stop watching porn as much. I know it's not gonna be realistic to stop cold turkey because that's gonna cause crazy things. Just arrogance, meanness. Because I also found like whenever I got like agitated, it's because I didn't watch porn. Or if I
Yeah.
did just masturbate in like a few days. So if I'm like, okay, I'm getting agitated, my boyfriend's like, are you hungry? And I was like, I wish I was hungry, but no, I'm horny. So
Yeah.
it's like that's when we had to start like, okay, this is getting a problem. So check yourself, baby. So definitely, if you got a partner out there, I think it's really good to talk with your partner. If you don't, you got a girlfriend or a bestie. I know I'm like, well, I don't want to tell my girlfriends because I don't think they can relate. Maybe you never know. They might just be the ones to help you support and help you live up to that expectation of yourself. So definitely something I want to tell people. And overall, I think just don't make it so taboo.
Yeah. And yeah, you mentioned a lot of things. I guess in reverse order. I mean, I have some really open girlfriends, and a few of them really do resonate with it,
Mm-hmm.
whole porn thing. But you really mentioned a lot of good things. The comparison that happens, and we
Right.
don't even know. A lot of guys in porn are doing steroids, they're taking enhancements, maybe there's
Right.
filters. So you comparing your arms to them, unless you plan on doing steroids, it's
No,
not
thank
a
you.
realistic comparison.
Exactly.
And also, just like you said too, that's something that happens to me as well. You really said a lot of good things. Sometimes when I'm really down in it, when I'm really like watching a lot,
Mm-hmm.
the moment I see any hot guy, I do exactly what you do. I start to be like, oh, I have to act on it now. I have
Exactly.
to go in the corner, open up Twitter or X or whatever, and I have to search more pictures. I can't
Right.
just see a hot guy and
Go
move
about
on
my
with my
day.
life. I have to suddenly spiral down, and that really is it's this weird thing because it's like it's so easy for me to break away from other vices, I
Right.
guess people might say. But for that,
It's like, I don't know
no.
what is it. And I guess also because I really have to go back and look at how I was younger because I was in a closet. So the only way that I saw LGBTQ or gay representation was through porn. I mean, I
Hmm.
was 13 and it was 2012. I mean, RuPaul Drag Race was there, but it wasn't like prominent as it is now, so accessible. And then TikTok wasn't there. YouTube was the only thing there. So it was like either you watch gay couples on their daily lives, vlog. I don't even think vlogs was a thing at that point, but it was like porn was the main thing that was just accessible. Not really a lot of gay artists for my generation that could speak on us at that time. Troy Sivan didn't really come out to like 2016, 15, 16. Ariana Grande, she was still Cat. So it was like, I don't got no representation. So
Yeah.
it's like, how I'm going to find more about myself, watch movies. And then all of a sudden, those gay movies, I remember I watched Eating Out. That was my first gay film and seeing so much sex. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this like what we really do in this community? And obviously, we
Yeah.
can do that in a community, but being so young and impressionable, I just realized, okay, porn was the introduction to gay. So anytime I felt insecure, I would watch porn. Even as
Hmm.
13-year-old, didn't know what the hell it was, but I was watching gay men and my mom caught me. And so after that, I became real sneaky because I was like, oh, got grounded, got computer taken away for 6 months. Now I'm gonna become real sneaky and I'm not going.
Yeah.
So then I got real sneaky with it, made a whole different account. It was crazy. Then I started spiraling to the point where it's like, okay, I'm not a grinder. I mean, I wasn't one of those youngsters that was on grinder at such a young age, but then it slowly, God, I say, I would never do that. I end up doing that because it was like, oh, porn influence. And then it's like, oh, I could do that same scenario. No, you can't, boo. You underage.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't realize how much something is influencing you until you're stuck in that situation. And thank God I wasn't in a bad situation because I went with my fear and saying, okay, I can't do this for real because I'm too scared of HIV and AIDS. And my mom kept straight because she was a nurse. So I was like, everything she said is true. I don't know what she's talking about, but it's true. So
Yeah.
thank God I never acted on those things. But however, porn really did have a big influence in me developing until later 2010s, where we start seeing more representation and more shows like Pose. And now we got Red, the Royals, Red and Blue, and all those things. And RuPaul Drag
Yeah.
Race is more popping. And we got TikTok, where you can see people like you that are gay in their day-to-day life. Now, if me seeing that at 13, I probably would have went a different route. But shout out to porn. Thank you for teaching me some moves, but it became a problem. So definitely something that we should talk about as a community overall. So that's my
Yeah.
take on it.
Yeah, you once again you bring up a lot of good stuff that I think a lot of people could relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think porn is more normalized now when really I think it shouldn't be considered that normal for people to watch it all the time, and especially for guys in their 20s to have problems in the bedroom or
Right.
to have problems like I don't know, finishing off.
Right.
To me, I'm
Exactly.
like, unless you're in your 40, like late 40s, that should not be happening.
Oh, I don't have that
And
problem. I didn't get that far, but
that's good. That's good. But a lot of my friends, or a lot of people I said, not my close friends, but
yeah.
people I talk to, because I'm not trying to out anyone, it's very, very common that guys around West Hollywood will say things like, oh, I need this or else I can't finish off. Oh, I have to use my hand to do this. Or, oh, I never get fully into it. I never get fully hard, you know? And to me,
Right.
I'm like that. If you're 20 something, how do you, even if all your friends are doing that, it's a problem. It's a
Yeah.
physical problem.
It's a whole problem, but
Yeah.
that's crazy. So definitely we're gonna have to do part two for this for porn, and I'm gonna bring some numbers and some babies on. Well, not babies, but like people I feel like just would love to talk with you and just like hear. So who knows? We could definitely do that. But we're about to wrap up this beautiful interview, very beautiful conversation. I enjoy you, Kevin, so much. But do you have anything you want to tell Zay fam before we depart?
Um, I don't know. Well, I enjoyed talking to you a lot. This is so fun. Thank you.
Of course.
And I love how open you are. I love how open you are, and I love how you're really into what you do. And I guess to tell the Zay fam, I would say like queer community is to me everything. So I think more than a boyfriend, more than someone to hook up with, make sure you have like a good foundation of friends. If you have a boyfriend, if you have
Mhm.
all that, great. But make sure you also have friends because I think that all these people looking for a boyfriend,
Mhm.
it who knows how long that's going to last.
For real.
So find that community and your life will change.
Exactly. And also finding self-worth within yourself and finding hobbies. I know it's easy. They probably think like, oh my gosh, Isaiah think he's this and that bitch because he graduated and shit this season. No, I'm still trying to figure out what I like to do. And I know for sure, like some hobbies I changed because I used to love doing heavy makeup on the earlier season. I would do like glitter eyes and everything like RuPaul Drag Race.
Mm,
competition. But now I'm chill and I'm just like, okay, I want my skin to glow and I don't want to put on makeup every single day. So you always evolving, you always discovering new things about yourself. But Zay
yeah.
fam, thank you so much. If you got to the very end, you listened to a beautiful conversation. You got to learn more about me and Kevin. So hey, listen, if you're watching us on YouTube, you got to see our beautiful faces. And yes, we are cute. But you don't have to go to Twitter for that. And also, if you want to listen to any more episodes from this season, saying, "Damn, I'm doing the damn thing," be sure to check out the Zaya Show on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Yes, girl, I'm on YouTube as well. So thank you so much for listening to the Zaya Show, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.